Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Basically, price hasn't moved a lot since the last video. I wanted to take the opportunity just to remind everybody of the higher level wave pattern in which we are, because I still get questions. Do we still expect another low? And yes, for Bitcoin is probably, and that's my view, probably going to make another low. And we've come down here from this high on the, whatever that was, middle of August. Yeah, we've come down in a so-called A, B, C pattern, and in the C wave we have a wave 1, we've got a wave 2, we've got a wave 3, we've got a wave 4 and a wave 5, and I think we are still in the wave 4. And that's exactly the difficult element with the analysis at the moment. We are really at a key decision point here for Bitcoin, where either the wave 4 goes a little bit longer or is already over and we're going to break down straight away. But either way, I would expect one more low for Bitcoin. And as you can imagine, this will have quite negative consequences for a lot of altcoins. Okay, so now that we've established that we expect one more low, where would that be? Ideally in the region between 14 and 14.5K. And we've then, before we do that, however, we have the, the question to answer here in this sort of pattern in which we currently are. Are we going to go up first and then come down, or are we going to come down straight away? And we will know that very shortly, because we're getting to a key decision point very shortly. I'm going to tell you the key scenarios which are relevant here in the very short term first. Yeah, and then we take a look at where is this key decision point. Well, so let's take a look here from the most recent significant swing low, end of November. We have moved up in what I believe could either be a corrective wave pattern as an A, B, C, and we will break down in 5 waves afterwards, or have we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern that is a so-called ending diagonal in a wave C or 4, but even here we would break down in 5 waves afterwards. And why is that the case? Because it's part of a wave 4 and would come down in a wave 5. So all of that, that there is not much difference between these two scenarios. It's in the details and in the eventual targets, but it doesn't really matter in the short term. But in both the red and the green count, I mean, I could make them 1 here in the short term, but because we want to do it correctly, I've added them both to the chart, and in the very short term they should move in similar ways. So if one of them is correct, we should get above 18,350 into the region around 19 to maybe 20,000 US dollars. Well, and then, however, of course, this would be the at least short-term bullish option. There is also an immediate bearish option available, as always, and I'm going to tell you in this video what are the levels that we need to watch out for, that we can identify each of these scenarios as early as possible. So really, hope that got clear. The red and the green count in the very short term, they basically move together. So you won't really see a difference. So you can count them as one. So we've got one scenario basically where we're going to get to 19 to 20K and then come down to make one more low. And then we've got the bearish option. I mean, this one is bearish as well, yeah? The red or the green count. It's just that before we come down, we have some short-term upside. It is not bullish. Yes, short-term upside, yes, but it's not really a bullish view. So I don't have a bullish view on Bitcoin at the moment. Yeah. And the blue count here that you see here, that is, I'm going to highlight it in yellow for you so you'll see it better. That assumes we came down in 5 waves, bottomed here in the red support area. We are now moving up in an ABC pattern, A, B, C, in a wave 2, and would come down in a wave 3, move up in a 4 and come down in a 5 afterwards. That could even take us below that 14 to 14.5K area. Because if we don't put that distance in the red or the green count, and we come down straight away, it could take us down lower to maybe 13K or so. So where are now the key targets and decision points? So to identify that, we go to the lower level wave count and zoom in. So if you followed the previous videos, you'll know that as anticipated, we turned around in the red support area and we're now moving higher. So if you've just paid attention, you'll know that it's now either the question about, do we put 5 waves into the upside, and are we gonna move higher above the 18,350 level, yeah? And will we get to 19 to 20K and then come down, or do we come down straight away? And this will be decided very soon, in my opinion. Because as you can see from the low here to the upside, you will see here, you can see this wave 2. And this is the scenario where we are gonna break down afterwards below the red support area. And if we cannot get above 17.3k, then it will be very likely that we are in the blue count, and that is the immediate bearish count. So 17.3k is the first important resistance. Yeah, and this is a Fibonacci extension level, and it assumes that we off the low here, off that 5-wave move, we moved higher in a wave. Oops, let me just show you. So that we've got something like an A wave, then a B wave down, and the question is, do we make that deep B wave, or do we have a very shallow one? And maybe it was already in. That's the question we're gonna take a look at. But this would be part of the blue count, yeah? So in the short term, ideally in a B wave, you expect a stronger retracement. I did explain that yesterday. So when we measure the Fibonacci levels, you would normally expect it to get into the region just roughly 16.4k to 16,580. Ideally, yeah, but it doesn't really make the impression of getting there. So what other options do we have? And by the way, I had a question, why do I measure the Fibs only to this high? Well, very clearly, because as per Elliott Wave, you always measure it to the wave high. So that's a 5-wave move up to that wave A top. So it's either a wave 1 or a wave A. And that's where I have to measure the Fibs. Yeah. This is not really that wave top. This is part of the next wave. This is part of the B wave. So it's either within the B wave, another A, overshooting wave B and wave C, we come down. But I don't believe that really anymore, because we should really see some impulsive movement to the downside. Now I had another idea, and I think that is, with the latest movement, not too unlikely, guys. That is triangle, a triangle pattern. So I'm looking here at an A wave down, a B wave up, a C wave down. I'm probably looking now at a D wave and then E wave down. That would be a perfect pattern, and it starts to look more and more like a triangle, guys. So that is also the explanation why we may have a very shallow wave B, because normally in terms of the retracements, you would expect something stronger, but if it's a triangle, you don't normally get it. Then you will have that wave B complete when we come down once more in an E wave. D wave could be in, yeah, could be in. It could also go a bit higher, but shouldn't really. 1 second, A, B. I mean, this could still go higher, the D wave, yeah. The ideal target for the D wave would be the 61.8% extension of the B wave. Let's measure that. I know it's getting a bit complex now, but a lot of you are here to learn as well. So the ideal target for a D wave would actually be the 16,969 level. That is the 61.8% extension of the B wave. Don't need to get there. It's only the ideal target. So, but don't be surprised if we push a bit higher and then come down again. But yeah, that is a very likely option here. And then we could push higher. And if that is the case, then we had just to determine the target. Yeah, determine the target for that move up. Just need to pick the low here. So to identify the target, we go to the high of the wave A and we go down to the low, roughly where the wave B will end. That could be somewhere here, yeah. And then we've got target is 17,388. So it has moved up a bit, because if it's a triangle, I have to measure to the low of the B wave. So we might go a bit higher. So yeah, that will be resistance. That might be fluid depending on where eventually the wave B will end. Yeah, and then we can formulate a target for that wave C to the upside to around 17.4k. That might shift a little bit. So yeah, disregard the 17.3k statement. It is probably around 17.4k. And if we then go higher from here, yeah, it would put more emphasis on a more bullish count, or at least short-term bullish, where we can move above 18.5k, and it may take us to 19k or higher. But eventually I would still expect another low for Bitcoin. But hopefully this video clears up a little bit about the mess and the possible structures here in this short-term perspective. And yeah, hopefully you liked the update about Bitcoin. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.